Leona contacted me about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and she said would I be interested in attending tonight, and I didn't give it a second thought because it's a subject that would be near and dear to me for lots of reasons. And you know, tonight should be a night of celebrations really, so I'm conscious of that. Plus, you know, it should be a reminder where everybody's at, and I suppose suicide in cocaine presently is written through the country, and I suppose it isn't highlighted enough really. And you know, looking at the slogan here behind with all the organisations that are hopefully that are getting involved with you, I suppose a big one for me really is that everybody is kind of singing from the same hymn sheet, and there's no tug of war there, because you know, if that is going on, it's the client or the person that's under pressure, it's going to lose out. And I suppose to do my own story or my own book justice, we'd nearly have to be here for a fortnight down in the Clarion. So I won't have time to do that. But I do remember my own mental health issues when they started. And I suppose, I think I might have been 7 or 8 years of age. I suppose that's when it started, when I felt I'm different. Nobody must be thinking like me. And it was just a simple comment, really. I think it was at school. I think it was in seniors infants. And a teacher made a remark to me. I think she said, you'll end up sweeping the streets of Patrick's Well. And I believed that lie for years. And I brought that on with me through my secondary. And of course I wanted to go to college, but I believed I wasn't academically good enough to go to college. But obviously I went back as a mature student later on. So I felt that very young, different, and I carried that through my teens, through my adolescent life, and through my adulthood up until about 8 or 9 years ago. I suppose it's only in the last 8 or 9 years really that I've kind of come to grips with life, and I'm just tapping into fulfilling my own potential as a human being. And it is because I'm well, and I'm emotionally well, and I'm spiritually well. And I was all the opposite for years. And I suppose my way of dealing with it would have been locking it up in a little box here and wrapping it with chains. And as a result of that, that had a serious effect here. And obviously my way of coping would have been acting and putting up the mask, putting on faces for A, B, C or D. So, you know, that was my journey. And I suppose, did I play with the idea of suicide myself? I did. And actually it was a bottle of Parasite actually, that was the idea I explained. And thankfully I didn't follow through. I suppose what would have prevented me? I suppose thinking of my 2 kids, number one. And eventually I reached out for a bit of help. Reaching out for help sounds so simple, but when you're in the depths of depression and in a black hole and you've still the shovel in your hand and the hole is getting deeper, it's a very brave and courageous thing to do. So thankfully I did that, and as I said, my journey began 8 or 9 years ago. I went back to college and I got a diploma in psychotherapy, and I went down and got my degree in psychotherapy last year. And you know, I suppose being well was the advantage. It allowed me to do that and fulfill my potential. But along the journey, you know, I'm looking down at Julie. I worked with Novus for about 4 years. I suppose it was a great introduction into addiction and suicide. You know, 50 or 60% of the suicide rate in this country is addiction related. Not saying for women, it's everybody, but it's that high, and it's a high percentage. And I suppose I got a great schooling when I was with Novus. That was my first introduction. And you know, dealing with human beings, I suppose they were all in active addiction at the time, so it was harm reduction. And so I went from that then to Coonveran Brewery. So I saw both sides, number one, and number two, I went through the ringer myself. And it isn't easy to come out the other side. It takes an awful lot of self-care, and an awful lot of work that I continue to do myself. And you know, when I'm at work and I'm doing one-to-ones, you know, near enough everything comes back to your own emotional well-being. Your confidence, my self-esteem, my self-worth, my dignity, and inevitably where I want to go, my lovability to myself. No, I'm not on about my jacket or my shoes. I'm on about what's coming out here. And I believe if everybody emotionally can kind of raise the bar bit by bit, you're on a good train. It's when the bar drops and we start to believe the lie that was taught to me by a teacher. We start to believe that, then the negative thoughts there, and then we can kind of entertain them and go back to old habits. So it's ongoing stuff, and you know, I'm very conscious as well that my growth isn't stunted. I suppose I do things now that keep me well and that keep me happy, and I live clean and I live well, because my conscience will tell me when I don't do so, and when I don't do so, the bar then will drop. The emotional wellness within myself, it'll drop. So I have to keep the finger on the pulse all the time, and you know, I'm not striving for perfection. I don't want to be perfect, but I do know there's a lot more in me, and the more that I do work on myself, you know, wherever it takes me, it takes me. And you know, when I met Leona during the week for a cup of tea, first time I've heard of her, and met, sat down, and we had a good chat. And I suppose the core values I live and die by: unconditional love, empathy, congruence, non-judgmental. No matter where I go, I bring those principles with me. So I was sitting down with Leona for about 40 minutes, and I said, lovely, we were right one here. You know, and I just got the message that she meant business, very determined, and you know, if you were to pick a person to lead a scheme in a new project, you'd be picking herself, because it is going to go places. And you know, you remind me now of a little terrier that grabs a bone.
Have we called worse?
That won't let it go. And you know, you need those qualities. You know, you need the qualities of the lion-hearted lamb. Whatever may present, you need to kind of show who you really are, and put the foot down, and needs to put down, and show your love if you need to show your love. So, you know, I'm not going to hold you any longer, only that I'd be willing to give you a hand at any stage, at any part of the scheme. But I will say, alright, in Patrickswell, where I'm from, I suppose 2 years ago, we had a suicide in Patrickswell. I think within the last 2 years, we've 10. So, you know, everybody has a responsibility and a role to play. Everybody knows when they look at somebody, if it looks a bit down, or shoulders are slumped, or the head is down a small bit, there's something up. And it absolutely costs nothing to be nice and ask you, well, how are you doing? Are you okay? You look a small bit derailed, a small bit. How are you getting on? Even a simple word like that might steer them a small bit away to what they might be thinking. You know, but as I said, everybody's a responsibility. But it seems to be kind of half accepted at the moment, suicide, for some reason or another. And I stress cocaine, because you know, I'm watching the results of that left, right, and centre, and you know, we can't afford to sidestep the issue, or we can't afford to brush under the mark, because it's hitting every part of the society, and everybody has the potential, really, if they don't look after themselves, to be addicted or to go down their own path. So, as I said, it was a privilege to be here. I was delighted to be asked, and you know, as I said, it's a subject that's fairly close to my heart. I've lost count the amount of people that I know who have been taken by the spirit of suicide. So I don't love the sound of my voice that much, so I'm going to delay any longer. So as I said, it's an honour and a privilege to be asked and to be here, and I leave it at that. Thank you very much.